We've got a doozy of an update to go over today, pertaining to everything new going on with Persona, including impressive sales milestones, Persona 3 Reload DLC and pricing, Atlus finally breaking the ice over Persona 3 Portable's female protagonist being in Persona 3 Reload, along with a bevy of new Persona 6 updates that teases tons of new aspects that may be coming to the next mainline Persona installment. As always, Persona's older relative Shin Megami Tensei is gearing up to release its revamped multi-platform release of Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance in a few months. And if you would like to play the deluxe edition of the game for free, try your shot in my ongoing giveaway of the game. The details are linked in the description. Alright, Persona has been on a roll these last few years, and thanks to Persona 3 Reload's incredible launch in February, Atlus is celebrating the Persona series' newest sales milestone of having surpassed 22.6 million units sold worldwide. This is an awesome milestone for Atlus, making it their best-selling franchise by a large margin and cementing Persona as a tour de force in the land of JRPGs and RPGs in general. Due to Persona's success, Atlus has high hopes for Persona 6's launch, as we will discuss their recent statements about that game along with some other insider information pertaining to it later on. But kudos to Atlus and all the incredible teams working on Persona over the years to bring this franchise into the spotlight it has deserved for so long. Last week, we got confirmation about Persona 3 Reload's DLC, with episode Aegis, Persona 3 FES's The Answer epilogue chapter, being the most exciting of the bunch. There are a number of new additions coming to this story chapter, of which we are going to address here. And just know there will be absolutely no spoilers regarding what happens in The Answer. FYI, I will be using The Answer and episode Aegis interchangeably throughout this video, but just know these two titles refer to the same thing. This meaty 30+ hour chapter will be landing this coming September, and before that, we will be getting more BGMs from Persona 5 Royal and Persona 4 Golden this month in March, along with Velvet Room costume and BGM sets arriving in May. All of this will cost you $34.99 in the US, and for our worldwide friends, here on your screen is what you will be paying in your local currency for the expansion pass. As of right now, there is no way for players to buy the DLC individually, so for those who would like to play episode Aegis, it looks like the expansion pass is the only way to go. Also note that the BGM tracks included in the deluxe editions of Persona 3 Reload are different from those on offer here with this DLC bundle. With that said, are you all looking forward to a reloaded The Answer mode? I'm definitely looking forward to it, as I have been pretty outspoken about the PS2 mode's grindy nature in Persona 3 Fest, so I am definitely looking forward to seeing all the quality additions here in Reload's implementation, with some of the many new additions being outlined by Atlus coming right up. Thanks to a recent interview with Famitsu, Persona series general producer Kazuhisa Wada and episode Aegis director Yu Hashizume outlined a number of key areas that expand upon and refreshes the Answer experience over its original debut in Persona 3 Fest. Both Hashizume and Wada explained that The Answer plays an integral role in Persona 3's narrative, that the overall narrative should not be distorted, with Wada adding that they, quote, haven't done anything to change it at its core, end quote. This is from a narrative standpoint, of which we aren't going to dive into here for spoiler reasons, but for those more concerned about the gameplay, which is where the bulk of the original mode's criticism comes from, things were tweaked to give players an enhanced experience with the mode. And a question regarding the length of the mode in Reload, Wada remarked, "The game's systems and pace are based on the main Persona 3 Reload game, where we had improved the overall pace, so we expect the playtime to be slightly less than the original version." Hashizume further adds, for example, in dungeons, you can move by dashing, as in the main story, and as you are controlling Aegis, you can explore faster by shooting objects and enemies from a distance. Along with the expanded battle gameplay introduced in the base Persona 3 Reload, Hashizume adds that there is a completely new aspect to The Answer's dungeon, the Abyss of Time. And while they aren't diving into exactly what these details are just yet, Hashizume hints that it pertains to new exploration elements. It has also been confirmed that Atsushi Kitajo, the composer of Persona 3 Reload, has returned to produce the music for The Answer DLC, including the debut of two brand new tracks, one being a new opening song for the DLC and a new battle track that plays when you launch a preemptive attack. So this is all the new information we have so far regarding the answer in Persona 3 Reload, with the main takeaways being the enhanced gameplay that will likely cut down on the grindy nature of the original mode, more exploration elements being added to the Abyss of Time dungeon, and new songs written for the expansion. Wada and Hashizume explained that more will be revealed about the mode in time, so there's definitely more to be looking forward to here. But this mode is certainly shaping up to be a more polished and refined version of the original, which is definitely a win in my book. For those who played the answer back on FES, what are you most excited about with the answer DLC? Let me know below. In this same interview, we also got an update on the much requested female protagonist from Persona 3 Portable, and whether or not she would be included in the game at a later date. I will let Persona producer Kazuhisa Wada take it away. It pains me to say this, but unfortunately, there is no chance of including the female protagonist. Of course, we also considered plans to include her, but the hurdles were too high. It was expected to take a long development period and would have cost several more times more than episode Aegis. Additionally, as the Persona team, we have a mission to not only work on remakes, but also on completely new works. Our staff members are working in unison towards future developments that you can look forward to, so we appreciate your understanding. Definitely not the news many of us wanted, as Atlus outright confirms that there's no way we'll see the character hit the game. Even so, great work has been happening in the community to restore the character, along with her social links, and animate her cutscenes in the most ambitious mod the game has seen thus far. I will provide a link to the Famitsu interview and the mod webpage for you to look over, linked in the description. Alright, with so much going on with the answer in Persona 3 Reload, it's time to give you all yet another updated look at Persona 6. While the game has not been officially revealed yet, we do know from Atlus back in 2021 that development has very much begun on the title, and thanks to Rockstar insider Midori on Twitter and her insight into numerous Atlus games in production, we may not have to wait long at all to hear about the next mainline Persona game, as we discussed previously that we are likely to get that game's reveal sometime this year in 2024. A few weeks back, Midori revealed that Persona 6 was also going to adhere to the series' staple high school setting, dispelling rumors that the game would take place in college or as a young professional. New this week, we have another prominent Persona leaker over on Reset Era, Head on the Block, previously known as I'm a Hero 2, before comically being banned, revealing new insight on the 6th mainline Persona title. Just know that Head on the Block and Midori's reveals complement one another extraordinarily well, as the two have previously announced Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Tactica well before they were officially announced to the public. But with that said, I always say take this with heaping grains of salt, as none of this has yet to be confirmed. Getting into the new information, Head on the Block suggests that Persona 6 is a fully featured semi-open world game, and that it is 95% complete that will be releasing next year along with DLC. He continues by stating that the DLC will contain more story and characters that will expand past the original release. He continues by stating that Persona 6 development paused for a bit to make way for a 2 to 3 year roadmap of DLC, as, just like Midori stated earlier this year, that Atlus intends to put a much greater emphasis on DLC on their games going forward by releasing a combination of smaller content updates and larger story expansions. Midori previously mentioned Lost Judgment and that game's success being somewhat of a blueprint for DLC development for future Persona and Atlus games, and again, with Midori here, mentioning that Persona 3 Reload was used almost as a testing ground of sorts for Persona 6, seeing as Persona 3 Reload is getting a number of DLC releases post-launch, including a sizable expansion with episode Aegis releasing later this year. Head on the Block further backs up Midori's statements about Persona 6 sticking to the high school setting in his post here, also emphasizing that social links are very much still present in the game, as this is a core component of the Persona games. So there is a lot to unpack here, with a possible 2025 release date, along with the semi-open world nature of the game, being still set in high school but with a much more robust multi-year approach to DLC. Even if none of this turns out to be true, Sega, the Persona series publisher in Japan, has stated that they are targeting 5 million sales in the debut year for Persona 6. In a Q&A session with investors on Sega's Q2 financial results for the year ending in March 2024, members of Sega stated that it would be possible for Persona 6 to achieve sales of up to 5 million copies in its launch year by releasing the game on multiple platforms and worldwide on day one. There's no doubt that Persona 6 will likely sell incredibly well at launch, with all the anticipation and good word of mouth the series has garnered over the years, and with perhaps a robust DLC roadmap and a large, semi-open world format potentially hitting the game, this could be just the moneymaker Persona and Atlus are looking for. While a semi-open world Persona game may leave me scratching my head, I am personally going to reserve judgment until I see official information about it. That said, I remain compelled to think that Atlus is going to put out an incredible game in Persona 6, and I can't wait to hear more about it, hopefully later this year. With that said, what do you think about all this new speculation regarding Persona 6? Watch this video for more information pertaining to Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance and the female protagonist mod for Persona 3 Reload, and be sure to stay tuned to the channel for a ton more Persona content coming out shortly, and I look forward to seeing you all real soon in the next one.